They stumbled upon a surprise answer to their infertility struggle. Hi, I'm Mark Mellinger, and this is the Embryo Adoption Podcast, brought to you by the National Embryo Donation Center. You can find out more about our work at embryodonation.org. And before we get started today with our guests, Owen McDonald and Arleta McPherson, I want to ask you, if you enjoy this podcast, to please go ahead and give us a 5-star rating on whichever platform you listen to podcasts on. So, give us that 5-star rating, subscribe to us. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and go ahead and give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. That'll help spread the word a little bit. Well, Owen and Arleta, so good to have you with me today. So tell me briefly about your struggle with infertility. I know, Arleta, that you had a son who's now a teenager, and we can talk about him later, before you and Owen got married, but then you encountered secondary infertility. So tell me briefly about your struggle. I know you tried a lot before you got to embryo adoption.
Good morning. I'm Arleta, of course. I actually I had some fibers a few years. Didn't know until I moved to Georgia, and I started working at my present job, and I was having these issues with bleeding and everything, and to find out I have quite a few fibers. Saw my GYN, and they told me I had to do I had to do a surgery, but the choices were, you know, not the way I wanted to go. But I chose to do a myomectomy because I wanted to have more kids. And after I did the myomectomy, apparently that's probably maybe the issue why I wasn't able to get pregnant after, because there are some cases where, after doing a myomectomy, I have scar tissues and everything. And that's probably basically the reason why I probably became infertile. But, when they run tests and everything, they're trying to figure out why I'm not getting pregnant. There wasn't nothing major that was going on that could prevent it. But, after we got married, we were trying to get pregnant for a couple of years. And then we decided to do, actually, a few months after we got married, because of my age, I was like, I don't want to sit along and wait too long because I'm older than Owen. I'm in my 40s. And at the time, I was, 41, I think, or about 41. And 6 months after we got married, seeing that nothing was going on, I went to see my GYN, and he referred me to embryologist, I think. No, infertility doctor, yes.
Yeah, infertility doctor.
Yeah, and then they ran a bunch of tests to see what's going on, and they didn't see any blockage or anything. And we decided to do 3 rounds of IUI, and that was unsuccessful. Then we tried in 2020, we tried to do a IVF. We harvested a whole lot of eggs, but I think six eggs they were able to fertilize. They transferred 3. One made it to 7 weeks. The other 3 that they were watching to see if it will be able to, check freeze and everything. It wasn't able to make it to freezing. And I lost that one that was transferred that, lasted only 7 weeks. Put me in a state of depression, something you're looking forward to, and, all these mishaps and everything didn't work out. And then a friend, close family member wanted to donate, but that didn't work out. And then one night I was just through my depression, actually, I was Googling and looking on stuff, went on YouTube, saw a bunch of videos that folks were talking about NEDC, that kept on coming up, NEDC. And the Holy Spirit said to me one night, why don't you try NEDC? I spoke to my husband about it, and, we took it from there. And then I started bothering you, calling you all the time, Mark, for information. What do you think about this, that, whatever, whatever? And then I also Googled, it was nightlight, I think, nightlight and snowflakes, I think. And we went through the process of the home study through nightlight. And then we started the process with you guys. And here we are.
And things are good now. We
Oh,
will certainly be talking about the results of you going through the NEDC. If you're seeing on video, you see that their twins Zion and Zuri are with them right now, and you can hear them a little bit, even if you're listening to the audio version. Owen, I want you to jump in a little bit here. What did you think of the concept of embryo adoption and the NEDC?
Good morning. I'm Owen. Well, I never knowledgeable about this. I never know nothing about it. When my wife said to me, I was like, "What is that?" And she telling me that there's a way we can adapt by she carrying the embryo. But I was a little bit scared about it. I was like, I don't trust that. I don't, But by she sitting down with me and explain to me, and then we start to go to the research, and then we get to meet your guys and we start to read everything. And she's like, okay, sound like something that we can go with. But then in the process now was the roughest one when we started to see her, getting all these injection and go through all this, pain. But it pay off, So we have two beautiful kids here, Zion and Zuri. It's a blessing.
Yeah, it definitely did pay off. And it's not unusual, by the way, for the husband in the equation to be a little bit skeptical or to pump the brakes at first. And your story bears testament to that and really bears witness to the importance of the wife in the equation. If she's the one who's less hesitant, the one who really wants to do it, to go ahead and give the husband some time, whichever spouse it is. The hesitant spouse needs to be given some time, ask questions. The other spouse can sort of talk them through it, and if it is the right answer, then the two of them will come to the right decision. And certainly that's what happened in this case. Arleta, describe what your process with the NEDC was like from your perspective.
It's the best experience I could ever ask for. Especially Linda. Oh my God, I love her. Even days when I was like, oh my God, Linda, I can't do this. I can't do this. It hurts so much. She's like, you're gonna make it. We can do this, But I mean, it's the entire staff of NEDC. Oh my God. I was talking to Owen the other day when we came down. I was like, maybe we should move down here so I could join the staff. I mean, I see that it's a fun environment to be in, even when you guys have your Friday podcast and stuff with the staff joining in and doing your fancy stuff, I mean, with Dr. Gordon and Linda all the time. I mean, it's a fun environment, it's a fun staff to be around. I could feel the warmth and the love and everything, and everybody get individualized attention. I mean, it's awesome, It's really an awesome environment and I'm glad that I was watching those videos and came across your podcast, because I was looking for new podcasts that we post. But I mean, it was a really good experience with you guys. I'm really appreciative for everybody. Dr. Keenan was very nice, Linda, Kelly, I can't remember the name of the young lady from the embryologist. I can't remember her name.
Sarah,
yeah. Everybody was really nice to us,
Yeah, and if some of these names don't sound familiar to some of you, she's talking about Linda McCollum, who's one of the nurses on the medical side. She's good. She's talking about Kelly Seymour, who's part of our patient coordination team. They're here to help, and yeah, we have a fun crew that enjoys what we do, and we're in it exactly for the two little lives that you are holding right now. This is why we do it, and you finally got your happy ending. So can you tell me about the arrivals of little Zion and Zuri, who are only a couple months old as we record this?
It's such a blessing that they came on Thanksgiving. Josiah said I gave birth to two little turkeys on Thanksgiving. But I mean, the course of the pregnancy, I was, I was on bed rest for since September, which I was supposed to be due in on January 6th, but was having some issues with respiratory issues, and Zuri had some extra fluids around her which they were monitoring, and that caused, that extra fluid was actually pushing against my lungs. So they decided to take them early at 33 and 6 weeks. Um, so that helped me a lot because I wasn't able to walk around much. I couldn't sleep at night. The pain was just crazy. It was a lot for me. Not to mention those shots. I felt like I think I got maybe over 150 shots in that 10 weeks of getting shots. And then I had to I asked Linda if she could talk to Dr. Keenan about changing the shots to maybe some pills or something, and that worked. That helped out a lot because I couldn't sit on my butt. But it was worth it. It was really worth it, but the babies had to stay in the NICU for 4 weeks based on the policy of the hospital. I think if they're 34, 34 and under, I think. No, isn't that 34? No, 35 and under, they had to stay in the NICU. So they were in the NICU for a little over 3 weeks. They both had respiratory distress, and so they had to be on CPAP for maybe about 2 weeks. And then they had to learn how to eat on their own. So they had feeding tubes in their mouth, and they switched to the nose. So gradually they were able to eat a lot on their own after that. So they got discharged on the 19th of December, right before Christmas. The staff at the hospital was pretty good. And, everything went well. Especially, I thought I would freak out for the C-section. My doctor said I did good. She said she was hoping that everything went okay with me mentally, where, thinking about, C-section, it's you literally putting your life on the line right there, and two babies on top of it, everything went well. Thank God, everything went really, really good. And the process, the healing process still going, but 7 weeks post-op. So yeah, there we go. Say hi. This is Zion waking up. Say hi. Hi, Mr. Mark. Say hi. Oh.
What beautiful kids. Beautiful, beautiful kids. And Owen, what is it like having these two little babies? Obviously, you guys had kids when you were younger. These are your first kids really together, though. And what is it like having Zion and Zuri having newborns in the house again, especially twins?
Well, I never experienced this, none at all. And it's a new experience for me. It's very new, because my daughter, she's 16 and my other son is 6, which I never grew up around them much. So this is first, dad having these kids around, waking up at night to feed them. And I see sometimes I feel really drained, but, to have them in my arms, to feel them, the oneness, it's just amazing. Sometimes like, God, you're so good, because we never really planned for two, but God give us being a double blessing, so I'm grateful, and I'm learning a lot, with these kids to, change diaper over again and to feed them and to, yes, it's a good experience for me, really good one.
Well, and it was so wonderful when you were able to bring them actually here to Knoxville. They live a few hours from us, for those of you who don't know, but it was so great to see the family here in person. We love when our families visit. Arleta, what's Josiah think of being a big brother?
At the moment he's up, he's in the room. Can I hold them? Can I feed them? Can I change the diaper? Well, he tried to change the diaper the other day, and when he picked up Zion, the diaper fell off. But I'm like, it's your first time, so you'll get a hang of it. But he's very involved with them. He's loving them. loving on them every day.
I love it.
Nice to be a big brother finally.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is. It's great. So a couple last things before we go. Is there anything you wish you would have known about the embryo adoption process before you started, as you think back on it? Because a lot of people who are interested in embryo adoption and are considering it might be listening to this. Anything you wish you would have known on the front end that you didn't?
Actually, if I had known about all of this before, all that money that was spent doing IVF and IUI, that money could have gone towards doing the process of you through the NEDC. Even I probably could have donated some money out of that too, because my job offered infertility treatment money and all that stuff, which was a lot of money, and all that money went into the IVF. And I think that was just wasted money. I mean, right now, I told a lot of my coworkers about it, and I told them, listen, you're young, you're not ready to have kids, go freeze your eggs. I mean, the journey to go through the process of the adoption process and everything, it's a lot. NEDC is a much cheaper way to go for the adoption process. Even people my own age who are saying, oh, I want to try doing IVF, I'm like, listen, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time and money. Just go through the NEDC. Go find a place that so many embryos are out there frozen for so many years waiting, to come to life. When I look at these kids and I'm like, they've been frozen since 2000 to 2012 or 2010, I think. And I'm like, look at them now. Who believe that they've been in your freezer for so long? And here they are right now. I tell them, don't waste time. Just, freeze your eggs or something, or even just go ahead and just do this. It doesn't make sense to just put yourself through all this process of harvesting your eggs and going through all these shots and everything, and then come to find out it doesn't work out. But I'm glad I everything, all things work together for good. Because if I didn't have that miscarriage and everything, and if I didn't go through my depression stage and everything, I wouldn't be on YouTube looking at videos about, IVF and adoption and all this. I wouldn't even know about NEDC if all these things didn't happen. As I said, all things work together for good. And here we are, my two bundle.
We love it. Yeah, God definitely has his hand on your family and had his hand on your family. And boy, we're just so thankful that things worked out as they did. We're also thankful to both of you, as well as Zion and Zuri, little Zion and Zuri, for joining us on this edition of the Embryo Adoption Podcast. It is just a great story. And yeah, I love how God worked his way through the tragedy in your life, the depression, to bring you to these two precious lives, these two precious children that he had just for you guys. So Owen and Arleta, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Again, for those of you listening, if you are interested in finding out more about the NEDC, go ahead and go to our website, embryodonation.org. Again, that's embryodonation.org. And again, if this conversation has been helpful to you, go ahead and give us a 5-star review on whichever podcast platform you find yourself listening. Also, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, and subscribe to the channel as well. I'm Mark Mellinger, and this has been the Embryo Adoption Podcast.